and his name is Mr. E.
Where was the body at?
It was navigation. I also have
Alright.
a task.
Wait,
I thought
wait, so that you just passed him into lecture.
I have a visual task.
Hold on, let me
I have a
explain.
visual task. I
So-
saw.
No, what she said, just.
I saw Emery like run.
Yes. So
You have a visual
I
task.
was leaving
Huh?
electrical
You have a
and he
visual
was
task?
going into electrical and then I went up to
I
navigation
don't
to
know.
go
I have to check.
do like the little switch
Okay,
thing.
Will
Good.
is.
I'll get some of it.
I just finished Simon Says. So that's my long
Simon
test.
says.
Yeah, Simon said. Yeah, Simon.
That's, I just finished my long test. Starting reaction.
Oh,
But,
I mean, that's the smartest option, because if we vote wrong on 4, they only need 1.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's why you just.
So are we skipping or?
Yes.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Here's the refrigerator. Sink. It's right. So, and the cup and the picture's right next to it.
Will, come on.
Appreciate it.
Where we going?
Talk about where.
Let's see.
I just know it's not E.
Yeah, I only have card swipe, align engine, download data, and divert power to
Oh my
upload.
goodness.
Hey,
That's all I have.
Why is no one?
I don't have any
Oh my
visuals.
gosh, wait, you need track?
Do what?
No, I want to prove my interest.
Yes.
Well, where do you need to prove your interest?
Chris,
Did I make
I'll
your day
witness
for
you
real?
do,
Good. That's what I want to make your day. I want to be.
Here,
I
bring the
want to
wagons with
be
that.
Richard made my day.
So, there's a thing called not talking.
Come to, okay, we're going this way.
Guys, if you want another hot chocolate, you can get some more hot chocolate. Yeah, that's hot cocoa. I should say classic hot cocoa.
I've never tried hot chocolate from Starbucks.
I don't really know.
Starbucks, okay, do not get Starbucks hot chocolate, it sucks.
You could, it's hot, but.
It's terrible.
That's what I have right here.
Crap.
I love it.
Ah, dang it.
Last second,
Who loves
nerd. It was
There's a small cup.
It was
I
me.
think.
Yeah,
said
we
sugar.
talked about each other once.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
So I take this out.
I realized
Tell
that.
them
Yeah, you
ask
can
me,
take
so
that
I
out
don't
for
know.
That's okay. It's supposed to be cool.
It's warm
Y'all can grab
spaghetti.
a spaghetti,
It's spaghetti.
and I warmed it up, so it should still be good. Spaghetti.
Oh, that's cool. I love your, you'll want to.
Yeah.
Somebody
I'm
touch
not.
my spaghetti.
And then you,
And then after you'll press the smallest setting.
Yeah.
So
you're
very
very
Yeah,
close.
I have no idea. Ours is an actual like big old font thing where you just.
Possibly. Possibly. I don't know.
Hungry.
I think Will and Doug are doing drinks. Right now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Smells good too.
Does it? I haven't had a chance to have it.
It smells really good. Is this hot?
Yeah.
Yes,
Very.
it should be hot. It should be hot.
I thought you were talking about
But like I said, I think Emery said it needs sugar and alcohol.
And
That's the problem.
the milk.
It tasted fine to me.
It needs milk.
Well, it smells really good.
Yeah.
Now, I don't have milk, but I do have creamer if you want to try that. I'm not going to guarantee it's going to taste that way. If you need a spoon,
So I throw this away.
you throw that.
Okay, when I'm done.
That's the only bad
It
part
drips.
about the steaks.
On the bottom, it'll drip.
It's okay.
Yeah, smells good. It needs marshmallows.
It does.
Oh, yes.
I should have gotten some.
It would have made it way, like, it would have took the milk place.
True.
Where's the, oh, I'm so dumb.
Okay.
Richard,
Mm.
that my new thing you got?
That's nice. I love that. That's pretty. Yes, there's cupcakes too.
You're welcome.
Yeah, they're the cup. Hello.
Hello there.
Hello there. General Kenobi.
Hi.
What's that? I heard it was snowing outside. You could just go look out here. She is. God made her special. Made everybody special. Oh, me. Oh, I have exciting news.
There's more spaghetti.
I hadn't read any. Is it snowing? I kind of made it up, but no, I'm just kidding. I didn't make it up.
That means all the schools will close. Except for Greenbrier. Everyone except for
Southside will close. Oh, wait a minute. We're virtual.
I know.
We are super excited because it's snowing outside.
Yeah, not anymore.
Okay, I'm going to tell you this. Southside's virtual days, because there's not very much.
You know what my math teacher does?
What'd she put?
Um,
Nice.
For both, sorry, I'm really happy.
What?
And 9 papers with small problems, like big problems, but small on our paper.
Yeah?
9 for review.
Who is your teacher? Who's? Oh, well, that's Mr. Raines. He's going to make you work. Mr. Tanner does stuff, but a lot of the other teachers, not so much. I mean, it's just kind of very light and easy.
Hey, Richard.
Yeah.
Okay, so I totally thought you were joking about the snow, and
Yeah.
we looked outside, and it's actually legitimately snowing. Like, I'm looking by the light out front, and yeah, there are big fluffy
No, no,
snowflakes. They're not sticking. It's too hot. It's too warm. But
See, I've been messing with y'all and saying, "Oh, look, it's not snowing."
well, that was earlier when it was not snowing. Stop trying to confuse everybody.
Oh, that's so awesome. Sorry, that was super loud. That's so cool. It snowed. It snowed. I remember one night I had to come up here and it was snowing.
Just watch us get like locked in because the
There
road
you go.
guys. That was awful.
Yeah, that's not what happened.
Awful how? I'm gonna go home and eat my baby Jenny.
I want to go home and take a nap.
I mean, there's a baby crib downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
It's snowing.
I'm so excited. I love it.
I really love snow.
Y'all grab you a cupcake if you haven't yet. If you're gonna get a cupcake, or if you want a little bit more spaghetti, you can have whatever's left.
I want an Italian Greyhound.
All right.
Nobody in Arkansas has.
And we're gonna get started. No, I don't want y'all to stay. I want y'all to get home safe. So. That's how I eat a cupcake every time. Yep.
I want to see you do it right now.
Cut it off.
I was saving this one.
She's like, no one's taking my last one.
I will take you all the way. Now, if y'all want to take some of these cupcakes home, you can take them home.
There's one more one. No.
You can have I can't have that. It's chocolate.
He's got a thing. He's got a milk thing. Yeah, with him.
Hey, Richard.
Yeah.
Jonathan heard that comment about the cupcake, and he said, please remember to bring him home a cupcake.
I will bring him a cupcake.
Thank you, Dad.
I forgot about that. All right. Well, hey, all right, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and get started. And Will, if somebody happens to want to join us, because I think Kylie might be joining us, and the Wallaces might be joining us a little bit later. If you will just hit the admit when they join in. Of course, they might be watching on YouTube. I don't really know. So, anyway, a couple things I want to talk to you guys about. Brother Steve, I've been meaning to ask y'all. I meant to ask y'all this morning. I forgot. But with the Christmas cards that we have downstairs, he was a couple of y'all to help put them in their family groups and put them in a rubber band. So that way it makes it easier for families to pick them out. You guys, I think we've done this every year or something like that. So can I get a couple of you to volunteer to do that? Just whenever, like before church or something like that, just whenever. No, I'll be there to help y'all with it.
I'll do it.
Okay. All right. We'll just knock it out one day before Sunday. Yeah, that's fun. All right. So here's the big news I want to talk to y'all about. I want to talk to y'all about our Christmas party. What was the clue I gave you this morning? 60.
Here's what came to my head.
What?
Psalm 60.
Okay. All right. What does Psalm 60 say?
I'm just saying like Psalm chapter 60. I don't even know Psalm has that many chapters. I'm just talking about the one that has a bunch of chapters.
Okay. Well,
I'm
that's.
not that educated, but I tried.
Oh, you did good. You did good. All right. So it's not about Psalms.
60 people.
No. Well, that'd be great. There'd be a lot of people if we had 60 people. All right. So our Christmas party is going to be Friday. It's going to start at 7:00, and we'll do a $10 gift exchange. It doesn't have to be $10. Let me stress that it does not have to be. It could be like $2. You know, just put some thought into it. Just put some thought into it. It doesn't have to be something. It doesn't. You can get like think about this, $5 worth of candy. That's a lot of candy. Okay. You can go to Five Below. Yeah. Exactly. You could just get a giant one. And if you want to get a boy focused gift, that's fine. You can do that. If you want to get a girl focused gift, that's fine. If you want it to where it could be either, that's fine with me too. Did you say seesaw?
No. I said fuzzy socks.
Fuzzy socks. Hey, fuzzy socks are comfortable.
Yes, they are.
I love fuzzy socks.
That could be either or.
That really could. Now, if it's pink, yeah,
Could be either or.
it could be.
Oh.
Y'all.
Those are girls' socks.
You close your mouth. Hey, try Jesus. Don't try me because I throw hands.
The Star Wars and the Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's God. That's a dude right there. Anyway. Grogu, yes. So anyway, we should have a watch party for Mandalorian. I don't know, anyway.
Dude, we should just like binge watch all this Star Wars.
Sorry. See that? No.
I'm done with that.
Good. Yeah, that's good. But getting back to our Christmas party, it's going to be Friday. It's going to be at 7. It is, we'll do a gift exchange and we'll play a couple like mini games and stuff like that. But the big game that's going to be are y'all ready for this?
Sure. Wait,
The big game, the big thing that we're going to do, it is going to be a Christmas escape room.
Oh, I suck.
Okay.
Escape rooms are phenomenal.
I am looking forward to it. This will be very Inception style. So there's a hint there about it. We're going to divide up into teams. Winning team will get. We'll do it just like we do it because no. We'll do it just like we've done it with the Christmas party that we had last year. There'll be a first place prize, second place prize, and stuff like that. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be to where we can do it even if something happens between. Because this is the thing, I wanted to do something with even if we, for some reason, if we have to go virtual this week or something like that, I wanted to be able to do something that we can still do virtually. And so this escape room that I have is perfect for it. And I'm so excited. And this is going to be an escape room with a twist. And so so FYI.
What's like the theme of the escape room?
I can't tell you.
Christmas.
It is Christmassy.
Wait,
So-
are we doing it at the church or like we go
It'll be here at the church. This church will turn into a giant
Is it gonna turn
escape room.
downstairs and upstairs?
That would be cool.
I can't tell you.
This is going to be interesting getting to that.
Yeah. So there'll be a lot of fun with it.
Can we bring
Um,
friends?
You can bring a friend. There's going to be an invite. There's going to be an invite. The title of the game, this is all I will say. The overall title of the game is Escape from the North Pole.
Is it like
There will be teams. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm so stinking looking forward to it. It's going to be great. Huh? It's going to be right here at the church.
Okay, are you like decorating or?
There'll be things I will divide you guys into rooms. There will be things that you have to do, challenges, and you will have to be able to do them in
What happens if we
X
don't
amount of
get
time.
a- Wait,
now.
There's traffic forever.
Now, yes, questions. What?
how long are we gonna be in there?
I'm not telling you.
And if I find out that either any of y'all have Googled anything about it prior to your contact info, Christopher.
I just did that.
Am I understood?
Yes, sir.
Ethan.
And apparently Ethan.
Uh,
What was your question?
Do we get to pick our teams?
No.
please, no.
How big are the
Teams will be drafted. It'll be the same amount of teams as if we were doing it and together. Probably divided. At least there'll be at least 4 people in a team. And so, but I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, it's very Inception with the escape room, Inception style. So
What's that mean?
I can't tell you.
Go to sleep and then go to sleep.
What is Inception?
Something like that.
What is Inception?
So,
basically 2 to 3 hours based on the
possibly, never know. Anyway, so that's going to be Friday. It starts at 7, and it will end when it ends. So, but
12 o'clock at night.
10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I didn't want to put like a time ending on it because I didn't want y'all to think, okay, that means, you know, it's over whenever we're done. At least it'll probably be around 10 or 11, but that's going to be Friday. I'm going to send an invite probably tomorrow, not tonight, but I'm going to send one out tomorrow. And I will need to know if you're able to go, as well as the other thing that I have to have is I have to know if I want to encourage you, bring a friend. Okay. And like invite some people that haven't been here, like Christian, Creed, Ben, you know, invite and like really encourage everybody to come that hasn't been here in a while, and really encourage them, reach out to them through Instagram or something like that. If you know, and just let's do it that way. Yeah. And this is the other thing. There you go. She made a sandwich out of it. This is the other thing for those of us that, hey, for those of us that are having to be virtual and that we can still participate. Okay. We can still participate. So I will have the opportunity for people to join in virtually for these games and stuff. So Wednesday night, hey, I want to really encourage you guys. Let's really do a really great thing, and let's do this ugly Christmas sweater contest. Like I said, you can either make one or you can have you can do a store-bought one. And we'll have we'll kind of judge and based on creativity, how it looks, and how you sell it. You got you don't sell the steak, you sell the sizzle. So you got to be real creative with how you do it. If you want to do an ensemble piece to where you add on, yes,
I can do the hat.
you can do a hat, yes. There you go.
A trombone decorated Christmas.
There you go. You could do that. You could also decorate a mask. You could get a paper mask and deck it out and all sorts of Christmas stuff and lights and everything. Ugly Christmas sweater contest. Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna win.
So I'm just saying you are limited by your creativity. So
I swear, if someone takes my idea, I'm gonna scream.
don't scream.
She's going to America.
All right.
Her idea.
I have a different idea, child. Shut.
So anyway, okay, so we've been talking about right, and we've been talking about different parts of the Christmas story. Last week we talked about Mary and Joseph, and I mean, think about this: when you see a lot of Christmas nativity, when you see a lot of nativity scenes at Christmas, they're really nice, right? I mean, they look nice. They look beautifully designed. Am I right with that? Or you see, or they're a lot of fun. You can find, there is a Lego nativity set that you can get. It's expensive, but you can get it. I think I've seen a Star Wars nativity set. There's Precious. My mom has, those little figurines. Have you ever heard of Precious Moments? These little very beautifully drawn and designed. Anyway, they have a nativity scene for that. You can get what's called a modern day nativity scene, to where it's people on segways with phones and tablets and everything, and that's you can do all sorts of things with nativity scenes. But the truth of it is that as beautiful as what we make it out to be, the reality of it is it's the actual real moment when the birth of Christ and all the things that happened. It wasn't as there was a lot going on with it, and so. Like I said, we talked about, for instance, Mary and Joseph, that they were just average people. They were very average. Yet that's exactly who God chose to be some of the first people on earth to hear the good news that had just been born. And we talked about how terrified they were, right? I mean, this is a scary, real deal. I think we'd all be terrified if all of a sudden an angel showed up and said, "Greetings to you. You found favor with God." I mean, like I said this morning, you might have a Kevin moment and just from Home Alone and scream really loud because there's his angel.
Dude,
And so, yeah, I made sure I did not do that tonight. Do what? Hello there. That's true. So, and then Wednesday night we read about the shepherds and what is it that the shepherds did? They told everyone, right? And and that's the other thing is that there were years to where I knew the nativity story, but then I would read it and I was like, wait a minute. You don't see that in a lot of the stories where the shepherds run and go and tell everybody and create a commotion about what had gone on and what was going on, and the shepherds, that's exactly what they did though. And when they did share what they'd seen, the shepherds, they didn't make themselves the main characters of their stories. It wasn't about them at all, really. It was about God. It was about what God had done. It was about the promises of God. I mean, and think about that. It must have caused people to wonder and really kind of think about what God was doing. And they focused on just the real story being Jesus. And so think about that. Think about how powerful was the fact that and all they did, and we don't read in the scripture, in Luke or in Matthew, Mark, or John about how people came to know because of them telling, but they simply did what God had called them, had really kind of God laid on their heart to do. But what if they didn't? Chances are people would not have heard about it. Chances are we wouldn't even know about the story. Yet they chose to do it, and we get to hear and to see. And from us, it should encourage us, because think about this. I shared with you guys Wednesday night about how shepherds, how they were not like the happy, the coolest people that you wanted to be. Nobody really grew up and said, I want to be a shepherd. You know, they didn't really have a lot of money. They were out with their sheep all the time. And when it was time, like day and night, you know, they would have to take shifts to sleep out there with the sheep in the sheep pen, which is like made of mud and clay and straw and all this. And they would have to go wherever the sheep went. And if there was a sheep that got stuck in a briar patch or something like that, they would have to go and rescue them. And they would smell, because sheep smell, you know. And yet, you know, so I mean, nobody wants to, and yet these are definitely the last people that you would think that God would want to tell. You know, because for us, when we want something to be done, when we want to get the word out, who would we choose? Would we choose the garbage man, or would we choose the most popular person in school? What would we do? What would we do? What's the common, what we would think the common sense would be to do? The popular person, right? Because, you know, that's how we want to get the word out, but yet God doesn't play that way. And I think there's something that we can learn from that as well, is that God chooses the ordinary. God doesn't look at a person's status. God doesn't look at a person's skill or knowledge. God simply looks at a person's heart and their faithfulness. And I think these shepherds, I think there's something to be said about them. To me, I kind of look at it and I see that these were faithful guys. And so, you know, it's such a great encouragement to know that God will call anybody. That God doesn't look at status. God doesn't look at who we are in the world. God simply looks at us as being faithful. And so these guys, they follow through, they're obedient, and they make it about God. Now, let me ask you guys this, and you tell me this. Who are some of the early that shared Jesus with you here at church? Was it a Sunday school teacher? Who are some of the people in your life here at church that has shared about Jesus with you? Miss Nancy? Your mom? Who else?
You and mom shared.
Parents? Your sister? Honest people? Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that shared Jesus into your lives. I guarantee you. Who all here had? Who was your first grade? Do you remember who your first grade Sunday school teacher was? Is Nancy? Okay. Is Margaret? I know, like, you know, Miss Nancy, Miss Jimmy Ann. Yeah. In fact, Jimmy Ann, Jonathan has Jimmy Ann, and I mean, think about the people in your life that simply and they didn't necessarily, you know, jump at you and try to shove Jesus down your throat, but they showed taught you who Jesus was. They taught you how loving God was. They took time to share the story of God with you. You know, we all love to hear good stories, but the best stories are the ones that entertain us. The best stories, or excuse me, they do more than just entertain us. The best stories teach us something true and change who we are. And that's what we're called to do. You and I are called to do as believers, is you and I are simply called to share this story of Jesus and what he has done to everyone that we come into contact with. And, you know, it's this, like I talked about this morning and tonight, this hope that we have, the hope that this world so desperately needs. And the big thing that we talked about Wednesday and that we're, you know, revisiting and going into depth tonight is that on that very first Christmas, the shepherds gave their stories. So with this Christmas, how can you and I do the same? Because that's what you and I are called to do. I want to ask you this question. Let's read Matthew 10:27. And you can either look it up on your phone, or if you have a Bible with you, you can do it that way. And I'll read it tonight. Matthew chapter 10, verse 27. And this is what it says. It says, when I tell you in the dark, speak in the light. What you hear in a whisper, proclaim on the housetops. In other words, what Jesus is saying, what I tell you in simplicity, I want you to tell it to the best of your ability. And a lot of times we think, well, I don't know what to share, but let me ask you this. What is one thing that you've discovered about God that you could share with others? What is one thing you've discovered about God? He forgives.
That if you curse him, it's going downhill.
All right, all right,
Personally for me,
all right,
but
all right.
for other people.
Okay, all right. I mean, do what? Well, maybe, yeah. Yeah. But think about that. Think about the thing, like, for instance, let's take Will's thing of that he forgives. How many times has somebody held something over you? Maybe it's a brother or a sister. Maybe it's a teacher. Maybe it's somebody that you just don't get along with. How horrible is it when somebody constantly holds something over you? A mistake that you made, when you did the wrong thing. And how horrible when just kind of keep pushing you on it.
So this one time.
Without sharing a story, how horrible does that feel? It's the worst, right?
It depends if it's like something that's a joke or like a legitimate mistake.
But even something that somebody, and it's okay because they're teasing, they think it's okay because they're teasing you. You know, and of course I'm not talking about like where we all have a good laugh or something like that, you know, like.
It's like when your friend, like, you may say something that you don't mean at school and like it was an accident and you like should not have said it, but you said it on accident.
And it
And they're
keeps
like,
getting,
"Hey,
yeah.
remember at lunch when you said this?" And it's every single
Right.
day.
And it hurts. And it's painful, right? So, hey, so we have this that like, you know, we hate that. And the fact, this is what God does. God forgives us and he doesn't remember it anymore. God forgives us of our mess ups, of when we've done wrong, and he doesn't hold them over us. How much of a wonderful thing it is to know that. What else have we learned about God? That he's a loving God.
That he can help you through stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk to him.
He's trustworthy. Let's take that one. How many times has your trust been broken by somebody to where they did something and you trusted them and they broke that trunk. How painful is it?
Pretty painful.
Yeah. I had a friend that I was going through some hard times in a job, and I confided in him my struggles and the problems and the hurt and the pain and in some of the backlash I got because of stuff. And I trusted him because I thought that this is a guy that cares. I thought this is a guy that genuinely wants to know. He ended up taking that and stabbing me in the back with it. Making fun of me, calling me names. And that hurt. So, but the thing about it with God doesn't do that. God doesn't do things to make you not trust him anymore. God does things to show that you can trust in him. How many of you have a friend that is struggling with being able to trust in God? Or excuse me, that struggles with trust issues? Anybody have a friend that struggles with trust issues? How many of you have friends that everybody's always holding something over them? How many of you have a friend that feels like nobody loves them? And tonight we just shared about a God who loves, about a God who trusts, about a God who forgives. And we all have friends that could hear that, even if we don't even notice, even if we don't even see it. We have the ability of sharing those things that we know. And that's what God calls us to do. He says, what I tell you in the dark, speak in the light. What you hear in a whisper, proclaim on the housetops. You might think about the small impact that was done with you is nothing and other things, but you don't know the impact that you do have. And that's what God is getting at. God is saying, use it to shout it from the masses, to shout it from the rooftops, to do whatever it takes for people to hear and to know the life change that happened in your life. And so let me ask you this, what is one way that you can just take something simple that you've learned about God and share it with your friends? I get, and I understand the fear and the nervousness about when it comes to sharing our faith, because we don't want to be made fun of by our friends. We don't want to say the wrong thing. We don't want to be rejected by our friends. But the truth of the matter is that your friends are desperate to hear this. Your friends need to hear about the God who loves them, the God who cares about them. It maybe that you might even have friends that are believers, and they simply need to be reminded that God can forgive them. That God is a God of second chances, that God is a God of grace and mercy, that God wants to forgive them, and all they have to do is ask for it. So the question becomes to you is what is one way, because just like how the shepherds share their stories, what is one way that you can share yours? I want to challenge you, and I realize it might be hard because some of you are having to do virtual, but find a way. And all God is calling you to do is to simply trust in him. And I promise you it's worth it. Anybody got anything to say? Yes.
Like, just example, like you could take that person that is like having a hard time and just give them positive stuff like out of the Bible, like a verse, or say, I hope you have a good day or a blessed day, and just know that you're there for them, and that they have someone that they can count on and trust, and tell them about it too.
That's it, and that is a real small and simple little thing that we can do. And that's the thing, it doesn't require us, you don't have to stand up and shout and yell like that, but but it simply requires you to be willing to do something simple that will lead to you having a deeper conversation. You know, I mean, you talk to your friends about, you know, if you're a girl, you talk to your friends about boys. Guys, I'm sure you talk about girls. You talk about video games. You talk about dank memes. You talk about TV shows. Oh my gosh. You talk about TV shows. You talk about all these other things. I'm just. Well, I don't either, but you know, they're you know.
Okay, the first one you said, the girls talking about boys to their girlfriends. I did that today. Okay, sometimes it's about boys that I literally want to kill because they're so annoying. Oh, but and then there's different talk.
All right. So anyway, I say all that to say all those things that we do talk about, the things that and there's nothing wrong with talking about that, but I want to challenge you to do this. I want to challenge you to do this. I want to challenge you to do this. Have a deeper conversation. Talk about faith. Even talk to each other here about each other and what's going on in their faith, what's going on with you, not talking about people, but talking to each other about what God is showing you in your walk and your quiet time and stuff like that. Be willing to do that. Simply be obedient to what God is calling you to do. Let's pray. Father God, thank you so much for tonight, and thank you for just allowing us to be the Lord. Father, I pray that just as on that very first Christmas, the shepherds shared their stories, Father, I pray that this Christmas we begin to share our stories. Father, you don't call us to do grand, extravagant things. You simply call us to be faithful and to share about what you're doing in our lives. Father, I pray that this week you give us opportunities to do just that. And it's in your name I pray. Amen. Thank you for joining us on Zoom and YouTube, whether you're watching now or later on YouTube. Thank you so very much. We will see you guys back here at Wednesday. 6:30 is youth service, and good to have y'all. Y'all be safe going home.
Okay.
Bye.